So, one way I predict the moods of my family and friends that fall under the sign of Cancer is by looking at the moon. No lie. Like, I look at the moon, and if the moon is shrouded and, covered and you can't really see it, then I know it's gonna be a no-go for my Cancer friends and family, you know? And this is because Cancer, the sign of Cancer, is actually ruled by the moon. It's the only sign in the zodiac that is ruled by the moon. And it just so happens that the moon affects the tides of the ocean and lakes and stuff, and the seas and the water basically on Earth. And it just so happens that Cancer is a water sign. But not just any water sign. Cancer is the sign of the crab, and the crab dwells in the oceans, in the sand, in the seas. So the crab is affected by, the tides being shifted by the moon, which means the crab is also affected by the moon. So now you can understand why the crab is always so crabby. You know what I'm saying? It's like being pulled in so many opposite directions because the moon is affecting the water, and the water is affecting, the tide, and the crab's, comfortableness. You know what I'm saying? And it's like every time the crab builds a home, it gets washed out by the water, and the crab has to rebuild. Like, this is a Cancer's daily life, internal life. So that's why I know, when the moon is covered and it's black in the sky and you can't really see it, I know that somewhere deep inside that my Cancer is feeling, kind of covered. It wants to be covered. It doesn't want to be seen in a way. So I usually don't hit my Cancer friends up when the moon is unless they hit me up. And then I find that when the moon is full and bright and beautiful in the sky, that's how my Cancers feel. They feel bright, beautiful. They're ready to go out and have fun. And they're the life of the party. You know what I'm saying? If the moon is kind of half, then it's like your Cancer might be, kind of half. Like, it's okay. They're the life of the party, but then they have points or moods where they just kind of want to be alone, or they're like, you know what, I'm ready to go home. But then 5 minutes later, they're in the corner drinking, being the life of the party again. Look at the moon. If it's a half moon, that might be why. And I'm obviously being kind of sarcastic and jokey, but I'm being kind of serious, because the sign of Cancer is ruled by the moon, so Cancers are affected by the moon. Cancers are affected by little things, little things change their mood, just like the moon. Little things the moon does changes the tide of the water on Earth. So Cancers, I hope that gave you a clear picture of your personality and who you are. And I don't know, maybe you feel a connection to the moon and you never knew why. This is why. Because you are ruled by the moon, and if you didn't know that, now you do. Alright, so start looking at the moon and kind of see how it correlates to your mood. Hi, I'm Lamarr Townsend, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to get with a Cancer man or a Cancer woman. As I said, I'm Lamarr Townsend. For you first-time watchers, if you're a first-time watcher, I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic, psychic tarot reader, and I often do tarot readings on my YouTube channel, so I would love if you would subscribe and contact me at lamarrtownsendtarot.com for your own personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading, or your own birth chart reading. I do birth chart readings as well, okay? So once again, contact me at lamarrtownsendtarot.com. There's also an FAQ section if you have any questions, a personal reading testimonial section if you need further proof, so I would love to do a reading for you, okay? Excuse me, that was really rude. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend, like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend official, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video if you like it, and share with your friends and family, okay? How to get with a Cancer man or woman. Now, the way to a Cancer man or woman is through their heart and their stomach, alright? These people love food, alright? Cancers love food. They love to eat and they love good food. Now, it's interesting because no Cancer is the same. So one Cancer may like spicy food, one Cancer may like salty, one Cancer may like sweet. No Cancer is the same. But what's most important is to really find out what that Cancer that you like specifically enjoys to eat. Now, You have to remember that I said that these people also, the way to get through them is to their heart. Is the way to get through to them is through their heart, right? These people are very sentimental people as well. So take it a step further. Find out what their favorite dish is, and then find out what their favorite restaurant is, and then maybe take them to that restaurant on a date, a surprise date. Or take it a step further than that. As I said, these people are very sentimental. They love things that come from the heart, okay? If you do something from the heart, if you do something with intention from the heart, with love, they're going to receive it and they're going to give it back tenfold, right? So take it a step further, and why don't you learn, their favorite dish, and, make that dish for them at home, because these people love the home. They love to be home. Doesn't necessarily mean that they always love to be home. They do love to go out as well, but for Cancer, the home is the home is the oasis. Wow, the home is the oasis, right? So it's very important. These people aren't very flashy people. A Cancer man or woman aren't typically very flashy. They don't like flashy gifts. They don't like flashy signs of affection. These people are just generally very simple, simplistic people. They just want to know that they're loved, cared for, that they are emotionally secure, that they're in an emotionally secure relationship, financially secure, just a secure relationship. Cancers need security, right? So that's very important. Another thing is to try not to take your Cancer man or woman, and this video is generally for anyone of any ages. I mean, this is going to apply to teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30, 40, 50, it really doesn't matter. Cancer is cancer, right? Certain concepts may be different, but overall the general blueprint stays the same, right? So with that being said, try to steer clear of going out on group dates with a Cancer, especially in the beginning stages of getting to know a Cancer. Try to steer clear of taking the Cancer out to places where there may be large groups of people that you may know, or that the Cancer may know. Not even that the Cancer may know, that you may know. Basically, take the Cancer to, it's okay to take the Cancer to somewhat like his or her favorite restaurant, but it's also the Cancer enjoys being taken to new places as well. But the important thing is the thing to keep in the back of your mind is to try and keep the focus on being just you and the Cancer one-on-one, okay? Because the Cancers are very attentive people. They like attention. They need affection. So Cancers really enjoy a one-on-one moment, a one-on-one connection, so the more you keep your date one-on-one, and you keep your focus, your attention on you and the Cancer, and is just making the date as enjoyable for you and the Cancer as possible, the more that Cancer is going to associate that date with the feeling of being cared for and being you being attentive to their needs, and Cancers are very feeling type of people. There's a saying that says people may not always remember what you say, but they're gonna remember how you make them feel, right? And Cancers are a water sign, so you have to be very mindful of how you may be making them feel. All right. Cancers are attentive people. They need affection. They need to know that they're wanted and needed and cared for. So, rubbing on the legs, the thighs, the back, hugs, gentle caressing. All these things are, a Cancer's wildest dream. A Cancer loves those types of things. Cancer loves affection. Cancers love subtle PDA. They don't maybe a grabbing of the butt. Maybe if a Cancer's into that, then go for it. But for the most part, Cancer's really like subtle, you know, like maybe caressing, nice caressing of the butt, not so like, you know, out there, you know, like. But subtle PDA is good for a Cancer, you know. Kind of, in a way, staking your claim. I know that sounds really weird and like, but it's also kind of a turn on, because it's like, you know, subtle PDA in public is like your way of saying, hey, this is mine, you know, don't mess with this person because they're mine, you know. Basically it's like that kind of energy, and Cancers like that. They secretly like that. Now, they don't like to be so smothered, and it's interesting because Cancers can sometimes be smothering, but they don't like to be so smothered, but they do like those types of things, because Cancers like to know that they're cared for, they're secured, and this not goes not only for the females but the males as well. Like, you know, Cancer male who has a female who's gonna like check, you know, other females every now and then when you know, the Cancer female or the female that the Cancer man is with, you know, sees another female checking their man out, they're gonna be like, you know, like, Cancers secretly love that. Now, someone who, you know, is gonna start something, that's too much, but, you know, Cancers love a little bit of dominance, okay? And if you're wondering what happened to my finger, I'm a delivery driver. Basically, the car door handle on my car is, the metal's peeling off, so I ripped the skin on my finger as I was delivering a pizza, but luckily the woman I was delivering to was a nurse, so she helped me out and it's healing now. I just like to explain that in every video because I end up showing my finger at some point and I'm like, might as well explain it. Alright, so that's what happened, but I'm good. Alright, my uncle's girlfriend said I needed to get a tetanus shot, and I was like, oh my god, I got really freaked out because I'm secretly paranoid. And I was like, oh my god, she's probably right. So I'm kind of worried about that, but anyways, in my feelings, here we go, you know. Anyways, back to you, Cancer, or back to someone trying to get to a Cancer. Where to go? I mean, you know, these people are just very sentimental. They like truth, you know, they like honest giving, you know, acts that come from a place of honesty, from a place of giving, from a place of love, and not from a place of ulterior motives. Ulterior motives. Why is that word so hard to say? Ulterior motives. You know, you can't have ulterior motives with a Cancer. You know, you have to be pure, completely pure in your intentions, because ultimately, if you're not, a Cancer is going to be able to snuff that out and cut you off. You're out. Okay, so don't have ulterior motives. Don't be trying to get in their pants, you know, and then, you know, not talk to them, you know, until the next time you want some. No, not going to work with the Cancer. Don't even try it, you know. Just be truthful, just be honest, and pure in your intentions, okay? These people are very affectionate, loving. They want to know that your stomach is full. They want to know that you're taken care of, that you're secure and protected and comfortable. And they expect the same, you know? Very loyal people as well. So showing, you know, your devotion, your loyalty to the Cancer. For example, saying, you know, say your friends hit you up and they're like, hey, let's go out and have some drinks, you know, girls' night or boys' night. And you're like, nope, I'm going to stand with, you know, my Cancer, you know, my girl, my boy, whatever, and just, you know, do us tonight. Like that, you're going to win big brownie points with the Cancer doing that, you know. And you're gonna win, even like doing that when you don't really feel like it, like, you know, when you really, you know, kind of want to go out, but you know your Cancer's going through something, they're having a moment, so you're like, nope, I really want to, you guys, but you know, my Cancer's going through something right now, so I think we're just gonna stay in and have some Chinese, you know, and just do us tonight. Like that, you're gonna win brownie points with a Cancer doing that, you know? Being there for them when they need it. That's good, you know? So all these things matter to a Cancer man or a woman. I mean, these are very generic scenarios. I plan on to go in depth in other videos separate for a Cancer man and a Cancer woman, but this is the general summation of how to get to a Cancer, you know. Understand their moodiness as well. Sometimes that can be an issue for people, is their moodiness. So being able to handle their moodiness is also a big plus. And not being super turned off or upset, you know, when they get moody, because it's inevitable with them. It's just how they are, you know. And if they can act moody with you, be themselves, their moody selves with you, and still feel secure in the relationship, and still feel like you're not going to walk out on them, or, you know what I'm saying, get fed up with them, brownie points, you know. Cancers need patience. They need a patient partner. Very patient. So if you have patience, brownie points. And don't be all about the brownie points either, because they're going to be able to snuff that out too. Oh, you're doing all these things just because you want brownie points. You know, no, you're not pure in your intentions. You're not being pure in your intentions. You're not coming from a loving place. You're coming from a place of ulterior motives, right? So really watch that. Cancers are very, very intuitive people. They're ruled by the moon. Very intuitive people. They're able to feel the feelings of other people. So they're going to be able to snuff you out if you aren't real and true. So be wary of that, okay? What else? What to say about Cancers? And how to get with a Cancer man or woman. Be open with them. Being open with them. These are the type of people that may like to go through your phone every now and then. And if you have nothing to hide, then what's but, you know. But sometimes, you know, that can be an issue for people, you know. But they like partners who are open with them, you know, and, you know, don't have any secrets to hide, you know. Cancer's really like an open partner. So if you're open and honest, you have nothing to hide. Maybe if you don't mind your Cancer going through your stuff every now and then, you know. Or, if that bothers you, putting your Cancer in their place and saying, hey, chill out. Like, stop going through my stuff. You have nothing to worry about. That little dominant side coming out, they like that, secretly. They're still going to be a little bit suspicious and insecure and worried. They like that dominant side. They like that assurance, you know. They like to be assured too, okay? So all these things matter with a Cancer, all right? At the end of the day, just being patient with these people, understanding that, you know, they are not going to be the same person. They're not going to feel the same way on any given day, on any given moment. You know, they may get frustrated, they may get upset, and it may have nothing to do with you. And sometimes there's nothing you can do to fix it. You know, they just need to have their moment and ride it out, you know. And knowing your place during those moments is another way to win brownie points with a Cancer, you know. So all these things that matter with a Cancer, they really, really do. And it's important to take all these things into account. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is to just be true, be honest, be pure in your intentions. Come from a place of love. Know that these people are sentimental, loving, affectionate people. Alright? And the way to get to them is through their hearts and their stomachs. Why a Cancer woman or a Cancer man cuts you off? Well, it's interesting because Cancers are actually the really kind of easy breezy, you know, one of the easy breezy, you know, for the most part, signs of the Zodiac, but they can be very clingy. Alright, and sometimes the Cancer can actually cling and not know it. Alright? And Cancers can also, we have to understand cancers are ruled by the moon. So, the moon is kind of moody energy. It's, coming and going always, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it's weird energy. It's a weird type of energy to deal with, and only Cancer deals with that moon energy because only Cancer is ruled by the moon, all right? Now, with being such a moody person, you have to understand that Cancers have a lot most of the time that they're dealing with internally, all right? And Cancer's that kind of friend that you can lean on, you can call up for, some emotional support, some laughter. You can call them up, to go out to eat, or maybe they'll come over, you go over their place and make some food. Like, they're that kind of friend. It's just comfortable, that they're comfortable, it's comfort. Cancer's all about comfort, right? Cancers, though, are also, once again, very dependent kind of people, okay? Very kind of not solely dependent, but they're definitely independent in a lot of ways, but emotionally, like they need that kind of emotional connection, that emotional security with the people, in their lives, the people that they love and have around them, right? Cancers are also very sensitive, and I think the people closest to Cancer, because remember, Cancers also have a hard outer shell. Don't get it twisted, okay? Cancers will also, bite you, or not bite you, but whatever it is that Cancers do, the crab does, they'll like pinch you or whatever. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, a Cancer, can get very snippy, can get very snappy, right? And I think sometimes people take that very gentle, nurturing, sensitive side of Cancer for granted. And I think a lot of times people think they can walk all over Cancer, right? So maybe you walked over Cancer a little bit too much. Sometimes Cancer can allow people to walk over them just a little bit, right? Because Cancer understands, okay, maybe they're having a bad day. I understand what I did in the situation. So yes, I completely understand. I'll leave them alone. But if you try a Cancer too much, you're taking that gentle, nurturing, soft, sensitive, caring, a little bit dependent, codependent side of them for granted, all right? When a Cancer emotionally detaches from you, baby, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, all right? When a Cancer emotionally detaches from you, it's kind of like Capricorn in that way. Capricorn will emotionally detach from you before they eventually cut you off. So a Cancer has gotten to a point, most likely with you, and don't think I'm beating down on you right now, because I've been cut off by a Cancer, probably a few Cancers in my life, because I'm a Capricorn, and Cancers and Capricorns are actually polar opposite signs, but polar opposite signs often attract, they often have similar qualities. So, Cancer and Capricorn are definitely, the zodiac signs that will cut you off in a minute as soon as they just get sick and tired of your bullshit, right? So most likely Cancer got tired of your bullshit. Cancer got tired of you taking them for granted, using them, Cancer got tired of not being appreciated or valued in the relationship, and this goes for all relationships. This doesn't, have to deal with just a romance or, a friendship. This deals with all relationships. But here's the thing I absolutely love about Cancers, okay? And maybe Capricorn can actually learn from this, okay? I think Cancers have actually taught me this in my being cut off from them and me cutting them off, right? And there's this Cancer guy that I had the biggest crush on a few years ago. We've cut each other off at least 3 or 4 times each, but we're still in each other's lives. Like, I can still hit him up on Snapchat and send him a heart emoji, and he may not. And here's the thing about Cancers, like, they start to ignore you when they're really upset. So, and they can hold a grudge. Like, don't expect them. Okay, I'm getting too far ahead of myself, but the thing I love about Cancers is that even when they cut you off, they still hold a place of love for you. Most likely, depending on what you've done. If you've done something completely disrespectful, completely unforgivable, well, then you might as well let that go, give it up, because that cancer is not coming back, they have good resolve in that way. But if if it's just something kind of petty or something like that, where it's just like sometimes we have moments with people where we just get so fed up over the petty and the BS that we just cut them off. Cancers do that. Cancers and Capricorns do that. Cancers will just cut a person off. And that's your warning. Like, you're getting on my nerves. I'm not afraid to cut you out of my life permanently. So now you have to stay outside for a while. We're going to keep you outside, and we're going to bring you in until, we're going to keep you outside until further notice of the building, and we'll bring you back in when we feel ready, right? Until then, I'll be in my shell thinking and processing over the events and what's happened, because I need my time. I need my alone time. Cancers are really, really, about that, when they're really feeling something and going through something, especially with someone that they love and they trusted, and they've had to cut them off. Like, what I'm saying? And even when a Cancer cuts a person off, it can still be a very emotional situation, right? But they have good resolve. So, most likely, if you've been cut off by a Cancer, it's because you've done something numerous times, by the way. It's something you've done numerous times. A Cancer, not the most assertive people at first, right? Once again, at first, they are a cardinal sign. The cardinal signs are the doers, the initiators, the assertive ones, right? Cancers aren't assertive at first, but when you push them to that point, them cutting you off is them being assertive, right? And there are always signs. There's always signs. They'll start ignoring you. They'll start ignoring your texts or calls, but they'll read them but won't answer back. They'll do things just to spite you. Like, say they'll call, but they never call. Like, what I'm saying? Like, they'll do things that kind of mess with your emotions, that they know will mess with your emotions, right? Cancers can also get really weird with people when they start to kind of drift away from them. Like, when people start to drift away from the Cancer, when the Cancer feels people start to drift away and the person shows, no effort or no, wanting or wishing to continue to, keep that relationship with the Cancer, right? They're showing that they don't care about the relationship anymore. Like, a Cancer will cut that person off too, because Cancers want to always have you around. If you can go months and weeks, and years without talking to the Cancer, and then you want to come back in and, be all, best friends, BFF, that's not going to fly with the Cancer. Cancer does not have time for that, okay? Really, really evolved Cancer has zero tolerance for stuff like that, if you continually restrict the Cancer in any way, like you constrict their emotions, you constrict their, ability or willingness to express their emotions, like you make them feel shitty, or you make them feel like, crabby for being so sensitive, or, being this or that way, being so moody, being so feminine, if they're a guy, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon can kind of be like a feminine type of energy. It deals with, Cancer deals with the moon deals with the feminine and, mother energy and those types of, things. So they'll cut you off, they will cut you off. And these are types of things that Cancer, especially Cancer, teenagers and young boys go through, like, with their friends. Cancers are usually the young, like the sensitive one of the group that gets picked on the most, but the thing about Cancer is that they're also self-depreciating, so, like they kind of laugh along with it, but you never know, inside they might actually be hurt. The great thing about Cancers, though, is that when they get assertive and stronger, they'll start making jokes back at you that hurt your feelings, right? Like they'll get you deep into your feelings, right? I love that about Cancers. There's just so many different sides to Cancers, and if you are able to stick around long enough, you get to see them, right? Hopefully you don't get cut off, by a Cancer for these reasons I've mentioned. Don't do the things I mentioned, and I'm sure there are other reasons, Always trampling over their feelings, not trampling on their feelings is going to get you cut off. Not considering their feelings, not taking their feelings into consideration. Always throwing crap at them and expecting them to just take it like a punching bag. No, not going to work with a Cancer, right? And then when they cut you off, you kind of try to emotionally manipulate them, to kind of court them into, or try to convince them to bring you back into their lives. Like, that's gonna make the Cancer even more mad. They don't like to be manipulated because they're the actual ones that manipulate. So when someone's manipulating them, they sniff it right away, right? And then they end up manipulating you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So these are just some reasons why you would get cut off by a Cancer, man or woman. Disrespecting their mother, disrespecting their family, especially their mother, though, or their grandmother, any type of feminine mother energy, attacking anyone that they love, like, very deeply, is gonna get you cut off, always making them feel insecure in any kind of way, and you may not even know that, you're making them feel insecure, because these people are naturally kind of, they feel, inadequate sometimes, because they just always go through the motions. The moon, controls, if you think about it, the moon controls the sea. The waves are always coming and going. That's kind of like a Cancer inside, always coming and going, so if you make them feel insecure in any kind of way, whether you put them down or you just think you're better, or maybe you are more successful, if a Cancer feels like you are acting superior, then they'll probably cut you off, Cancers like to be around people that they have at least something similar, something in common with. Usually something of emotional, commonalities, right? Because these are emotional signs, So, what are some other reasons why a Cancer cut you off? Getting too close to their partner, getting too close to their boyfriend or girlfriend, I think, will also get you cut off, Like, if they feel you're really shady or sneaky, or they just get really weird vibes. Remember, these are really intuitive people, so if they get weird vibes around you, you're gonna get cut off eventually. They may not be able to put their finger on it right away, but they'll just be like, there's something about this person, this kid, this dude, this woman that I just cannot put my finger on. I don't think I like them. And then eventually you do something that proves that Cancer's intuition correct, and then they're like, snip, cut off. I knew it. So, always have good intentions with a Cancer. Always check your intuition at the door. All right. Hiding your feelings is gonna get you cut off, because they already know how you feel. So there's no reason to hide your feelings. Just be honest, right? Also attacking things that they love, continuously, though, might get you cut off. Cancers aren't like that serious. We're like a Capricorn. Like, if you attack something they love, like, they take it really seriously. Or an Aries, maybe. But Cancer's like, ha ha ha, yeah. But like, if you catch them on a bad day, you're gonna get cut off. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're moody, and they're not always down for the bullshit. They're not always the same person every day, not even the same person every 2 hours, let alone every day. So you really have to be mindful of that. And if you're not mindful of that, like, if you always expect them to be hey, Cancer, always punch them on the arm. What's wrong, Cancer? Aren't you so happy and upbeat today and laughing? You're always so happy and upbeat. Cancer's like, stop hitting me on the arm, and I'm cutting you off because you're just annoying me right now, And then the truth comes out. They've probably been annoyed by you all along secretly, but they just tolerated you, you know? Cancers are not what you think they are, you guys. I mean, you guys, take the sweet side, nurturing side of them for granted. Trust me. One of my best friends actually is a Cancer, but we've had our ups and fights. But even I know he's not always sweet and fluffy and cuddly. He definitely has his moments, right? I never cut him off though. He's never cut me off. I'm grateful for that actually, because I kind of regard him as a brother, and I'm pretty sure he regards me as a brother. Like Cancer's the type of friend like I would just go over his house and he's the type of guy that would just play. This is back years ago when I was in college, when we were both in college. We went to the same college, and we live in the same town. Both art majors, and he loves to play video games. So a lot of times over the summer when we would get back from school, I would go over his house and literally just watch him play video games, because I just loved to be around him. Like, I love being around him. Right now he's out doing his thing, in New York, so I'll probably go visit him soon. But like, I just like, who else would I go sit and watch video games with? Like, not, that's not fun with everyone, but like with a Cancer, it's fun, it's comforting, it's home to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like home. Like, wherever his home is my home, and that's kind of what it's like with a Cancer when you're on their good side. You know what I'm saying? But when you take them for granted, when you take that side of them for granted, when you always expect them to be a certain way, and maybe it's because I'm a Capricorn. We lived together at one point, so maybe it's because I'm moody, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, we kind of knew when to stay away from each other. But the people that are always on them constantly, like, not knowing when to stay away, you're gonna get cut off. So yeah, it's interesting in that way how opposite signs can really get along, But these are just some ways you would get cut off by a Cancer, but the wonderful thing, I will say, by ending this video, is that even though when a Cancer cuts you off, depending on what you've done, if they really love you and value your relationship and your friendship, your whatever ship, alright, eventually they will bring you back into their lives. Alright, eventually the walls will be put down, they'll come out of their shell. You will probably have to be the one to first make a move, and you may have to be persistent depending on, once again, what you've done. But eventually the walls will crumble down and they'll bring you back in. But you once again have to kind of prove yourself and work yourself back up. And they're only going to do this a few times. Like, after about 1 or 2 times with that, they're going to cut you off indefinitely. So don't think you have infinite chances. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. Because once that Cancer's gone, you're going to miss them. Yeah. Hey you guys, before I got into the video, I just wanted to talk briefly about my new ebook, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language. Whether you're looking to improve your sex life and your dating life, or if you're just looking to expand your knowledge about astrology, this is definitely the right book for you. This book is meant to help you improve your sex life, your dating life, and your love life, your relationships, and to spice it up in the bedroom if need be, or to just, once again, help you learn more about astrology. So if you're interested in any of these things, if you're interested in learning about the different love languages and the different sex languages of the zodiac signs, definitely look into getting this book, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language, written by me, edited by me, and designed by me, Lamarr Townsend. So you can purchase this ebook on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or you can purchase it on Amazon, on the Amazon Kindle ebook store, alright? Or just amazon.com. Alright, into the video we go. Thank you for listening and watching. Cancer and their psychological mind games. Well, every zodiac sign, each of the 12 zodiac signs, has their own way of, playing mind games, okay? We all do it. Let's just be honest, okay? Some people are just more honest about it. All right. So Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon rules our emotional security, okay, our inner self, the self behind closed doors. It rules our emotional instincts, our emotional reactions to things. It also rules our connection to our family and our home and our roots, okay? And, you know, in that realm, Cancers can be very emotionally manipulative, okay, with their mind games. Cancers can turn things around and make it seem like it's your fault, alright? When it may not necessarily be your fault. Now, of course, we all play a fault in any situation that presents itself in our lives, even if we simply attracted it into our lives, alright? But Cancers, you know, have a way of turning things around and emotionally manipulating the other person, you know? For example, a Cancer can do something, you know, really mean, you know what I'm saying, like, what's something a Cancer would do? Like eat your food in the refrigerator, you know, for like a small example, and justify it by saying, well, you know, last week or last month you used my hair, you know, spray, or, you know, called me fat, you know, or something like that, you know, and a Cancer can justify, you know, doing something wrong. But here's the kicker, like, you know, they do things in a way where it messes with you emotionally. So, like, say you've been ranting and raving about this pasta you made, and you made like a huge batch of pasta, you know, and you just ranting and raving, oh my gosh, I love this pasta's so good, you know, my mom taught me the recipe, you know, I make it from home, you know, so whenever I get to make this pasta, I enjoy it so much. And there's the last bit of pasta in the refrigerator, and you did something, maybe you didn't even know that you were doing something mean to Cancer. Maybe you did call Cancer fat accidentally, you know, saying, you know, oh, you should probably, you know, start eating more salad, you know, start eating more fruit, something like that. Maybe you didn't necessarily call them fat, but you implied it, right? Cancers can, you know, there's the last bit of pasta in the fridge, they'll eat it, you know, you've been at work all day, you know, Cancer knows you hate your job, and they know that that pasta is your saving grace when you get home. That pasta is going to emotionally fulfill you when you get home, because Cancers love food, honey, okay, as well. So they know the emotional, at times, benefit of food, alright? A Cancer will eat that pasta. First of all, a Cancer will, like, eat the pasta and won't even, at first, say they ate it. You know, they'll, you know, you'll be mad, you'll be upset, who ate my pasta? They won't say anything. You know, they'll, you know, probably deny it was them. You know, until you dig a little bit deeper and maybe you start using your intuition, because remember, Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon rules intuition. Our emotional intelligence tends to be where our intuition comes in, right? It's intelligence with emotion, right? You know, so it's the two coming together. With that being said, you know, Cancers are very emotionally intuitive, very intuitive, period. So you have to meet them on that same realm of intuition. You have to think before them, think ahead. You know, Cancers are always thinking ahead. Remember, they know you want the pasta. They know, you know, the pasta emotionally fulfills you. They know that, you know, you hate, you know, your job. So, you know, in order to get away from your job emotionally, the pasta makes you happy at the end of the day. So the Cancer is going to take away what emotionally makes you happy, right? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they can just be that way sometimes, you know, when they're really, really upset. Also, you know, maybe they can emotionally make you happy, so they may take themselves away from you. They may take their energy away from you. They may cut you off, you know, emotionally, you know, as well. For example, a Cancer is totally the type of person who will intentionally read your message and not reply. Like, ever, you know what I'm saying, just to emotionally get with you, you know, just to emotionally get you in your feelings. You know, a Cancer is also the type of person who will snatch their attention away from you, will snatch their presence away from your life if they feel like they're not being appreciated. You know, so a Cancer can suddenly turn emotionally cold, you know, and they can also use this as a kind of a psychological mind game, where it's like they turn emotionally cold, and then you try to do anything you can to vie back for that emotion, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Cancers love when people, you know, kind of grovel and come back groveling on their feet, you know, begging on their hands to take them back. You know, Cancers love that kind of power, that emotional power too, because, you know, Cancers are interesting. They're able to, like I said, emotionally manipulate people, which, You know, even the strongest of people can be emotionally manipulated, you know, especially if they're not in touch with their emotions, okay? Those are probably the easiest people to manipulate for Cancer, right? You know, the people who aren't really in touch with their emotions, but display their emotions openly, right? Like a Capricorn, you know, for example. Like the Capricorn and Cancers are polar opposite zodiac signs, but Capricorns are not as, you know, obviously efficient with their emotions as Cancers are. Capricorn's an earth sign. The earth signs tend to be very practical with their emotions, right? But with that as well, the earth signs tend to display their emotions in ways that they may not be so privy to. They may be blind to, right? Whereas the Cancer can see those displays of emotion as openings to manipulate sometimes. So you really have to be careful of what you do, what you say, you know, because everything you say and everything you do will be used against you in the future with the Cancer, okay? Cancers also love gossip, so you have to be careful what you say around the Cancer, okay? Because they can use it against you, alright, honey? You know, and they can also use that for your emotional, like, manipulation. Like, say you tell a Cancer your deepest, darkest secret that you know if it got out, like, it would emotionally traumatize you. Like, if you do something really horrible to a Cancer can put that out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have to be really, really horrible, though, for them to do that, right? You know, because Cancers also understand the law of karma, you know, so anything that, you know, is done, you know, that is done to someone else is done right back to that person, right? Especially if it's, well, it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive, but, and, you know, negative or positive, it's going to come back to you, right? Cancers understand that as well. So, you know, on an emotionally intuitive and spiritual level, all right, because these people are very emotional, intuitive, very moody. Okay, so sometimes Cancers can use their moodiness to their benefit, because, you know, Cancers know that when they're moody, people tend to, you know, be like, oh, you know, Cancer's moody, you know, let me walk on eggshells, you know. And Cancers can sometimes use that kind of moment as a stance to sometimes be powerful, all right, and, you know, wield that power in not so nice ways upon people who they feel maybe have wronged them, or they feel have you know, maybe have upset them in some way. All right, so you never want to be emotionally, like, indebted to a Cancer, okay? You never want to feel too emotionally attached to a Cancer, because remember, the Cancer's the mother. So, like, I don't know, all mothers are not the same, but, you know, some people's mothers are the types who can be very attached, you know, but then they take that kind of, you know, emotional attachment away, which can be so kind of confusing for the child. It can be very, you know, traumatizing for the child, because, you know, the child, you know, always wants the love of the mother, but the mother, you know, knowing that the child, remember, the Cancer, you know, is ruled by the moon. The moon literally is associated and rules the mother in the zodiac, or rules the mother, all right, in astrology, okay, whereas Saturn is the father, all right, which is the sign of Capricorn, polar opposites, right? But anyway, see, astrology is so deep. But anyways, so sometimes, okay, so the mother knows that the child, you know, especially a mother who has kind of groomed the child to be attached to the mom, right? You know, because Cancers love attachment, right? So, the mother knows that the child, you know, wants the mom's attention, vies for their attention, so they can at times manipulate that energy, you know. And it's not just Cancer mothers. This is like a literal thing with mothers, you know. They can sometimes manipulate their child emotionally to get the child to do what they want, to, you know, to get the child to, you know, do their chores. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving you any love unless you do your chores. You know, I'm not giving you any love unless you do your homework. You know, like, that's like, you know, Cancer, you know, which, you know, it's manipulative, because then it's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna, you know, do my homework, you know, whereas, you know, in this analogy, you know, it's probably for the child's best interest, you know, but we take it a step further, you know, maybe, you know, stage moms, you know, for example. By the way, that was totally my chair, not actually me, okay, if you, like, heard that noise. But stage moms, for example, can, like, you know, be very manipulative with their children, very emotionally manipulative. I'm not giving you any love unless you go out there and perform, you know what I'm saying? Which, you know, if the child doesn't want to perform, then that's not like for, that's like mentally not good for the child. Does that make sense? So sometimes cancers can be that way, in which they can manipulate people for their own benefit, even if it maybe doesn't benefit the other person, okay? Not all cancers, but sometimes cancers can play mind games. We all are adept at playing mind games, so we all express views in different ways, right? So but at the same time, cancers are really good at helping people to become aware of their emotions, which is really healthy, actually. For example, say the stage child grows up, the child star, whatever you want to call the kid that performs unwillingly, all right, grows up and ends up resenting their parent, their mom, ends up resenting the experience, that they had, ends up feeling manipulated, ends up feeling a certain way towards the cancer, towards the mom, all right, maybe feeling robbed, all right, but at the same time, it's like the stage child can't complain or dislike the mom too much, because the mom raised the child up to be a successful, wealthy, probably, hopefully, independent person, so it's like a double-edged sword here with cancers at times. It's like they can be very great. They can help you become emotionally aware of a lot of things. For example, the stage child grows up and they have this resentment towards their parent, and they express this energy in different ways in their life, where it becomes a self-sabotaging energy, where it becomes an unhealthy energy, an energy that has not yet been healed, that can be expressed through anger, snapping on different people, isolating yourself, things like that. Whereas suddenly, the person realizes that, oh, the reason why I am going through this is because of the experience growing up with my mom, and being emotionally manipulated, for their own benefit, so it's like, and then this person becomes aware to the fact that, oh, I need to become more in control of my emotions. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword sometimes with cancer, where it's like, they can teach you a lesson, but it's also like, advice doesn't come free, player, it's like, you have to give something to get something sometimes with cancers, and it's a lot of times, I won't say a lot of times, but sometimes you don't even know that you're giving something, you don't realize it until after. You're like, oh wow, I just totally got manipulated. So, but cancers are awesome. At the same time, we would be nowhere without cancers, okay? But cancers are, very adept at, playing mind games just to, get people to do what they want, to think what they want, to say what they want, alright? So these people can be very sneaky, for the good and the bad, alright? Cancers are awesome with their crabby selves, alright? We love them. They're very intuitive. They help us become aware of our own selves, okay? And a lot of times they do give really good advice, even if it is unsolicited sometimes. They really do get us together, but at the same time it's with love, so we love them. Cancer, the Chariot. I don't know if you've ever gotten a tarot reading, Cancer. By the way, you can purchase your own psychic tarot reading from me, Lamarr Townsend. I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic, psychic tarot reader, and I would love to do a reading for you. You can contact me for your own personal reading. You can purchase your reading actually directly from my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. You can also purchase a birth chart reading from me at lamarrtownsendtarot.com. There are also personal reading testimonials that you can read and watch. And I would just love it if you would check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. And also follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend Official. and if you enjoy this video, like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share with your friends and family, okay? Now, Cancer. In tarot, each of the 12 zodiac signs have their own ruling card. And your ruling card, that's kind of your ruling card, that was really weird. It's kind of like a tongue twister. I'm just tired. It's been such a long day. But alright. Your ruling card, Cancer, is the Chariot. And usually in whatever tarot deck you find, in most tarot decks at least, and by the way, the one I'm using is the Dreaming Way tarot deck, as an example by Rome Choi, which will be below if you would like to purchase it in the description box. But generally, the Chariot is depicted as, a young male or female on 2 white horses being led astray to God knows where, right? And with the Chariot comes, or at least for me, I find that, there's a sense of an energy of like freedom and flexibility, fluidity with the Chariot. And it's an interesting thing, freedom, because there's a certain excitement that comes with freedom, even the word freedom, but then there's also a sense of fear that comes with the word freedom, right? One thing that makes freedom less scary, Cancer, is to come up with a plan, right? To navigate that freedom, okay? If we have a goal, if I have some goals to achieve, if I have some things to accomplish, and if I have an ultimate destination that I want to arrive at, then, this freedom isn't such a bad thing. I can narrow it down, narrow down my scope a little bit and, get my focus on, at that point, the Chariot knows where he or she is going. The Chariot itself, meaning the wooden thing that the person is riding in, but you can't see it, but we're just speaking, in an analogy here, metaphorically. But at that point, the Chariot itself is very sturdy. It's, it knows where it's going. The horses know where they're going. The charioteer knows where he or she is going. So everything's good, right? The charioteer is confident in him or herself. They know where they're going. They know they're going to reach it. They may go through a few obstacles. They may have to wheel, the wheels of every now and then. The horses may need to rest. Maybe something gets stuck in the horse's hoof, and you have to pry it out. Things happen, right? That's where the flexibility, the fluidity comes in, right? Okay, be patient. I know things happen, but I'm going to stay focused on my goal. I know we're going to reach it. I know we're going to make it to the destination. That's a focused charioteer. That's a charioteer. That's someone in their element. That is the ultimate, I think, depiction of what this card represents is that person that I'm describing right now. Someone who has a goal, has a vision, is going towards it on stable ground. Whether they're going at fast speed, slow speed, they're stable, they're good. Things happen every now and then that may cause them to slow down, stop, maybe even take a detour, but ultimately they find their way back on the path and they keep going. That's the Chariot in its perfect element, right? But then we have the charioteer that's afraid of the freedom that they have, as an individual, as a human being, as a male or female, single, married, coupled. It doesn't matter. There's still a freedom, whether you are tied down or not to an institution, a person, whatever. There's still a sense of freedom of being a human being. How free are you, though? How free are you, right? Do you want to be free? Because if you're not free, then basically what the depiction of this card would be someone who was a puppet. It would be the Chariot as a puppet, you know, like being guided by other people, being influenced by other people. It would be a totally different card at that point, right? But the thing about the Chariot is that, or the charioteer in this picture, usually when it's depicted in tarot, right, is he or she's alone. It's just them and their horses, them and their chariot, their vision, you know. Is that enough? Is that all of that solid enough? Is your vision solid enough? Is your goal? Is your confidence? Is your self-esteem? Is your belief in yourself? Is your trust in yourself and what you have right now to get you where you want to be strong enough, stable enough to get you there? Because it all has to be stable, right? Excuse me. But do you get what I'm saying? So there's a certain strength that comes with the Chariot, but there's a certain strength, there's a certain sense of freedom, of course, but there's also a need to be flexible, a need to be fluid, a need to believe in yourself more than anything, a need to trust in yourself, in your vision, and your strength, your power as a human being, as an individual, as you. No, there's no one else like you. There's no one else has the same two black and white horses as you. No one else has the same chariot as you. No one else has the same goals, vision, destination as you. But it's all about dealing with what you have, taking what you have and just going. Having a goal, having a vision, and just going. Believing in yourself, trusting in yourself. That's what it's about. And for me, that is the Chariot, Cancer, in a nutshell, your ruling card in tarot. The Chariot. I notice a certain pattern in all of these videos that I've been doing, because I'm doing a series on, you know, the 12 zodiac signs and their ruling cards in tarot. And I'm noticing that focus is a big theme that keeps coming up in these videos, like, you know, harnessing the power that you have and focusing it in the right direction, applying it in the right direction, right? It's no different, Cancer. It's different circumstances, maybe, but same concept, right? If Cancer could date from home, Cancer would do that. If a Cancer man or a Cancer woman could find the partner of their dreams from home, Cancer would do that in a heartbeat. However, often Cancer finds that finding love or dating or trying to date or trying to find love from home, from the comfort of home, from the comfort of one's familiar surroundings and familiar terrain and familiarity just in general, never quite works out. So sometimes, Cancer, you have to step out on faith or step out on the unknown. Sometimes that's where your true love is. Alright, thank you for listening and watching this video. Thank you for listening to my introduction. I am Lamarr Townsend. Check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. And once again, that's lamarrtownsendtarot.com, where you can purchase your own personal, private, confidential reading from me. My readings are not free. They are $1 per minute. You are free to ask any questions you would like. The only person that gets the link to the reading would be you, and you're free to do whatever you would like with your reading. All readings are strictly confidential. Any information that is shared or that comes up during the reading stays strictly between you and I. So please contact me for your own personal reading. I would love to do a reading for you. I have many different decks. I'm off tomorrow, so I think I might go and see if there are any decks. And whenever I say decks, it kind of sounds like I say dicks, but I'm like decks, you know. So I might go get a new deck tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Also follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend official. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Google Plus. Follow me on SoundCloud and check out my Bandcamp. I am also a musician. Aside from being an astrologer, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, honestly. Astrologer, musician, artist, comedian, apparently. I don't know. I just do it all. Cancer men and women. Let me tell you, alright? I had the biggest crush on a Cancer dude, and he put me through hell. I'm a Capricorn, so Cancer is the shadow side of Capricorn, and Capricorn is the shadow side of Cancer. And boy, like by the end of it, he became like super shut off and like wouldn't communicate at all, and like getting him to open up became like harder and harder. Such a Capricorn trait, that Capricorn shadow. And then like when like at the end of it for me, like I just became really emotional and like kind of uncontrolled. Like it's almost like I couldn't control my emotions at certain points, and it's just like that Cancer shadow, you know. So Cancers, you guys can be a handful sometimes, but you guys know that. You guys, by the way, this is some reasons why Cancer men and women might be single. You guys are quite a handful emotionally, and you know that. Your emotions change and range, you know, throughout the day. You know, your emotions, your mood changes like it goes up and down constantly, left and right, you know. It's just like too much sometimes, even for you. So it's like sometimes I feel like Cancer men and women can feel, especially when they're single for long periods, it's like, am I too much for people in general? You know what I'm saying? So Cancer, one of the reasons why you might be single is because you tend to not like to stray away from your comfort zone. You tend to, it's kind of hard sometimes to get you out of the house, Cancer men and women, and I have quite a few Cancer friends. Or I did have a few Cancer friends. I'm going through that weird transition or period in my life where it's like I'm like striving for success and like a certain like, you know, thing in my, I'm striving for success and like a certain status in my life, and like as you do that, you know, friends fall off, you know, and some of those friends for me are Cancers. One of the issues I have with you guys is that like it's hard to get you guys out of the house, literally. Like you guys are like not really good at texting. You know, you guys aren't like the best at answering, like I like with my Cancer friends, or like even with the guy I was talking to. I was like, it's always like a gamble of whether or not they're gonna answer. So it's like I don't even, half the time I never communicated. That's like the Capricorn, you know, in me, like just never communicating. But it's weird because Cancers can be like super clingy, but it's like you guys don't like to leave your comfort zone sometimes. It's Cancer, sometimes you have to leave your comfort zone, you know. Sometimes that's where you'll find love, is when you leave your comfort zone, when you leave your home, you know what I'm saying? Cancer can be such a homebody sometimes, and you guys know that, like, you know. You guys can get so emotional, and it's like Cancer can like get emotional about something from 4 years ago that has been like settled. There has been a resolution, you know, but just the feeling, just like that one moment, you know, that one moment that caused that one feeling of that cancer that the cancer will like can't let go of from the past. It's like that cancer like gets stuck on that, and it's like, nah man, I don't want to go out, or no girl, like I don't want to go out, I'm staying in, I'm not in the mood today, I'm irritated, I'm like, you know, it's too much, I'm emotional, I'm just gonna stay in, I'm gonna eat ice cream, I'm gonna watch movies, I'm gonna, you know, drink a lot of alcohol, smoke a lot of weed, do whatever it is cancer has to do to get over that emotion and get to the next day. But cancer, instead of going through that like kind of turmoil that you put yourself through, where it's like you stay in the house, you know, when you have those, you know, emotions, you know what I'm saying, those deep emotions that come up, you know, and instead of going out and having fun, you know, and kind of, you know, getting that kind of stuff off your mind, you stay stuck in at home, you stay stuck in your comfort zone, and you don't leave your comfort zone, you don't leave your safe space, you know. But you never know, you know, you could go out to dinner with your friends and end up meeting, you know, someone at the table next over who's single, or you could go out with your friends to the movies or to a party and end up, you know, really hitting it off with a friend of a friend, you know, and it's like you make that connection that could turn into something. Like, you just never know, cancer, you know. And you have to, like, one thing with cancer is like, it's like you have to also give people a chance. It's like you make connections with people, and then it's like you kind of leave them there. It's like it's like you make the connection, and then it's like, okay, like, yay, and then it's like on to the next thing. It's like, but like cancer, you have to like build that connection, you have to foster that connection, you have to foster that relationship, you know what I'm saying? And then you get like really upset and sad, and it's like, oh no, that person left, that person got angry at me, you know what I'm saying, that person did whatever, you know, why, you know. It's like, well, cancer, you have to look at your part in it as well, you know. Be okay with leaving your comfort zone every now and then, cancer. It's gonna be okay, I promise, alright? You'll get over the awkward moments, alright? You'll get over, you know, you'll get over the moments where it's like, oh my god, I knew I should have stayed home. Like, you know, you'll get over those moments, I promise, you know. Like I said, your emotions go up and down, so you'll have that moment where it's like, oh my god, I want to go home, why am I here? But then, you know, 10 minutes later, you'll be laughing and be the life of the party, you know, and you'll be enjoying a moment, you know. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like it goes up and down, and then something else will happen that'll irritate you, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so ready, I cannot wait to be home. And then it's like something, it's like up and down with cancer, okay? And it's like you just have to kind of like, you have to have, another thing with cancer, another reason why you might be single, cancer, is that you have to have control over your emotions, okay? You have to have control over your emotions, and you have to know how to be tactful, okay? And like, you know, like a friend may have been, okay, like for example, like say a friend like did something, like, I don't know, where it's like, what would make a cancer angry? Like, okay, this is something that would make a cancer angry. Okay, so say you and a group of friends went out, but you didn't invite the cancer, or those friends didn't invite the cancer, or say your group of friends went out, cancer, and they didn't invite you because they know you can be moody, they know you can be, you know, kind of up and down, wishy-washy, you know, sometimes, you know, so they, decided not to invite you. That would really piss a cancer off, and instead of like being tactful and like communicating, cancer, and like being like, hey, that wasn't cool, why did you do that, A Cancer will just straight up like ignore, you know, those group of friends, those people for like a really long period of time. And it's like, Cancer, that can be really petty, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people don't like dealing with that. So like, learn how to control your emotions, learn how to be tactful, learn how to kind of nip stuff in the bud, you know? It's like, you know, if someone does something you don't like, confront them. Don't be afraid to confront them, and don't just, the passive aggressiveness is like, can be really irritating for people, all right? Because with sometimes Cancer, you'll be passive aggressive, and then you'll find the other person is passive aggressive, and then it's like the relationship just stays stagnant. It doesn't grow. No one, you know, it's like, it just like, neither one of you picks it up, you know, and tries to mend it or fix it. So oftentimes Cancer can have broken links with people, broken relationships with people, and it's like that karma builds up, Cancer, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, really like you have to be okay with leaving your comfort zone. You have to have control over your emotions and know how to have tact, you know, and communicate, you know what I'm saying, your feelings, but know how to communicate them. Don't just like, you know, be really, you know, abrupt with people, or angry, or, you know what I'm saying, like, know how to communicate your emotions and feelings in a healthy, peaceful way, Cancer, okay? And I think that would benefit you quite a lot. What's another reason why Cancer would be single? Cancer, a lot of times, if you're single, I find that actually Cancer is the sign that doesn't like to be single. A lot of times, Cancer men and women are partnered. So sometimes if a Cancer woman or man is single, a lot of times they may just be going through a period in their life where it's like they need to be single. Because they need to figure out some stuff about themselves. They need to, you know, kind of find their way, find their path. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Cancer can get way too caught up in other people, way too caught up in relationships. And it's like, sometimes, you know, Cancer needs to be kind of like pulled away from relationships, pulled away from the dating scene, pulled away from that part of his or her life. And it's like, Cancer, you know, you need to figure out yourself, you know, what do you want, what is it that you want for your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, before you can even bring someone else into your life and like bring love into your life, you need to get clear on who you are and what it is that you want. So Cancer, if you're single, you may be going through that period of figuring out what it is that you want, who you are in relationships, what you desire in relationships. And don't get me wrong, even though you're single, you may be dating. Like, dating is like a part of the process of like not being single anymore, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, dating multiple people throughout a period of time, you know, is a part of the process of finding a relationship. So I'm not necessarily saying that, you know, you finding yourself doesn't mean that, you know, you're not like flirting with other people or like talking with other people or dating other people. Like, part of the process of finding yourself is dating other people, you know what I'm saying, is forging relationships, whether it be romantic, friendships, whatever, with other people. But I think as you get older, Cancer, like, I'm currently 25, and as I get older, like, I'm not a Cancer, but I really just want that one relationship with that one person, that, you know, that one committed romantic monogamous relationship, you know. But can I say that I fully know myself, you know, as a Capricorn Sun, Libra Moon, Scorpio Venus, Virgo rising? No, like, you know, but am I dating multiple guys? You know, am I talking to multiple guys, flirting with multiple guys, seeing what's out there, throwing my fishing rod out and seeing who bites? Like, yes, I'm doing all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, in the process of doing all that, I'm learning more about myself. You know, and it's like, it's weird because like, in doing all of this stuff, like in dating multiple people and throwing my fishing rod out and seeing who takes the bait, and like getting out of my comfort zone and sending like sexy Snapchat pictures like to guys I'm interested in. It's like I'm getting out of my comfort zone, and like I'm kind of seeing results. It's like, oh, like the responses I get are like, oh wow, like okay, I think this person might be interested in me actually. Like, the way they responded to that photo or that message I sent. So it's like all about stepping out of your comfort zone, Cancer, and communicating, like, and not being afraid of like your feelings and like how this person may or may not feel about you. It's like, Cancer, like just go for it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the Cancer, one reason why you may be single is you're just afraid to go for it. You're afraid of failing, Cancer. Like, you're just afraid of fail. You're afraid of failing with that person. You're afraid that person will turn you down. But it's like the more you put yourself in that mindset, it's like going to become like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where it's like it's not going to work with that person. And then when it doesn't work with that person, it's like, oh, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm never going to get anyone, and then you're never going to get anyone. Like it's a continuous self-fulfilling prophecy. It's just a lot, Cancer, I know. So you just may be in the process of figuring yourself out and figuring out what it is that you want, Cancer. Cancer's all about building, a home. Cancer wants a home and a family for him or herself, whatever that means, whether that means a same-sex family or, a heterosexual, whatever that means, whatever that makes the Cancer happy, and that's something that the Cancer has to figure out. But the only way Cancer's going to figure that out is by stepping out of his or her comfort zones and leaving the home, and communicating with people, and going after the people they're attracted to, and not spying on them from afar, peeking through the blinds, when they drive up in their driveway, like, like Cancer. No, just go for it. Just go for them, Either you get them or you don't. So what if you don't get them? And awesome if you do. Like, who knows what will happen? And don't have expectations. Like, sometimes, Cancer, you can have these like wild expectations, I feel, when it comes to your love life. And it's just like, I think at some point you realize that, like, you have to temper your expectations, and sometimes your expectations aren't always met up with reality. Like, Cancer wants this like fairy tale relationship where it's like, it was fate when we met, and I knew when I saw him, or I knew when I saw her, that he or she was the one. And 4 months later, I proposed, and we built a family, and we built a house on 10 acres, like, and a mule, and we built our own garden and farm and lived off of that, and we live a vegan life. Like, that's like, Cancer wants the fairy tale romance. And it's like, sometimes, Cancer, the fairy tale romance comes in the form of sitting in your car late at night, eating fast food, but having an interesting conversation, or listening to music that both of you like, a song that both of you like, and like creating a moment, like that can sometimes be your fairy tale romance, Cancer, So sometimes you just have to know, or you have to kind of temper your expectations to reality, We all want our Prince Charming. We all want our princess, whoever, we all want our queen. We all want our king, but sometimes that king or queen isn't a dime piece, like sometimes that king or queen is like a hard 8 or a 7, or even a 5 or a 4. But you love that king or that queen nonetheless, no matter what, you know? Like you hold him or her down, you know, and he or she holds you down, like, you know? Sometimes Cancer can get so caught up in like his or her like a fantasy of love and a relationship, and like, you know, it's like Cancer, if you Cancer, if you like spent more time staying in the present and like trying to build that fantasy based on the reality you're in now, starting from the reality you're in now, you know, like you can build up to that fantasy, Cancer. It's just gonna take some work. It's not gonna be, you know, 2 steps, hop and a skip. Like, you know, it's gonna take some inner work, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a lot of inner work, actually. You know, it's gonna take a lot of questioning yourself, you know. I had a moment today in my car delivering pizzas, because I'm currently a pizza driver full time, as I'm like in between jobs and I do YouTube, and like my life is like kind of crazy right now. But I had this really crazy moment, because I'm gay, if you didn't know. I had this really crazy moment earlier today where I've been having a lot of realizations about myself, because like I did the Capricorn, you know, why are you single video, so I've already talked about why Capricorn's single. I need to do one on Libra and Virgo, and like I want to do all the signs, but like in doing all these videos where I'm like doing these exposés and like just talking about all these deep stuff, like it's causing me to like look at myself, like, you know what I'm saying, and like I had this really like kind of scary moment like in the car where I like questioned myself, and like, you know, because I can come off as very feminine, you know, but I can also like, you know, like I have my masculine moments as well, so it's like trying to figure out in my head, what is that? Who am I in terms of that? You know, am I feminine or am I masculine? You know what I'm saying? Or can I be both? You know, like, and like sometimes I like wearing wigs. Like sometimes I like wearing women's like the spandex, I think, like, but like the not the like this super duper spandex, but it's like the like I'd have to show you. It's like the, I guess, yoga type of spandex. So like sometimes I wear women's clothes, so it's like, you know, am I cross dresser? Like am I transgender? Like do you know, like do I am I comfortable being a man, or like, you know, like do I see myself as a woman? It was like a really scary moment of questioning myself, like, because like it was like taking a mirror and like literally like shining it on my soul, and like, you know, questioning like okay, so who are you? Like, this is what I see in the mirror, like this is my soul I'm looking at, like who are you? Define it, you know, define it. And I came to the conclusion that I'm not transgender because you know, all my life I have not had an issue with my gender. I've always felt like a man, a boy, whatever. But I am gender fluid, because some days I feel like a man or a boy or a dude, but some days I feel like a woman or a girl. So I'm gender fluid, and that was like a really big moment for me, actually. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it was like a moment of like defining myself, and it was like really like the best way I can describe it was like, okay, you know, so this is who I am. You know, this is who I am moving forward. I'm incorporating this part of myself into my identity moving forward. This is who I am, and I accept this part of myself. And it felt so good to accept that part of myself, and it felt so good to be that damn introspective, and like have like a really terrifying moment like that, where it's almost like questioning, like, am I gay, am I straight, like, you know, it's like one of those really scary moments where it's like you don't know, you know. But then you have to deduce, like, and then you come to a conclusion. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is the type of relationship that I want. And the more clear you get on yourself, the higher you'll vibrate, and the higher you'll vibrate, and the better type of relationships you will attract to yourself. Because in getting clear on who you are and getting clear on your self-identity, you're going to attract those same type of people, because you attract what you are. So the more clear you get on who you are and what you want in a relationship, the better relationships you'll attract to yourself, because you'll attract those same people who are clear on who they are and who know what they want. You know what I'm saying? And we're honest and trustworthy and reliable and consistent, who want to build a home, a family, all those wonderful things that you desire, But you have to realize that it's not a Disney movie like Cancer. It's not going to be a Disney movie. It's just not, It has to be based in reality. And reality for you, because reality for me is different from reality for you. And reality for you is different from reality from, like the next person watching this video and the next person watching this video. Like, there are a lot of people that watch my videos, and all of our realities are totally different from one another. So we have to start with where we are, Like I said, that moment of kind of self-realization for me, where it's like, I'm gender fluid, this is who I am, was a really big moment of self-realization, of self-identity, figuring out my identity, who I am. So because I know who I am, I'm able to discern people who don't know who they are. In being able to do that, I can deduce the people who, okay, if you don't know who you are, then chances are I don't want to be in a relationship with you, because I know who I am. Okay, put him in that pile. This dude knows who he is. He has goals. He has visions. He's consistent, reliable. Like, put him in the potential pile. Like, as you vibrate higher, you'll start to move differently. You'll start to navigate relationships differently, and you'll start to put your time and effort in different types of people. Once again, like, you'll attract different people to you. Like, really pay attention to the people in your life and the people you attract. Friends, family, like, romantic, like, and it, like, take a look at the people you attract, and then think of how that reflects on you, how those people reflect on you, and how you feel about yourself. Do these people walk all over you? Do these people treat you like shit? Do your friends treat you like shit? Does your partner, does the people you date not treat you like shit? Do they not answer you? Like, do they, do they cheat on you? Do they steal from you? Like, what does that say about how you feel about yourself? If you're allowing this person, these people, to do these types of things to you, how do you feel about yourself? Because the person who loves themselves and values themselves would never let anyone walk over them, treat them like shit, or, do those types of things to them. So, Cancer, figure out who you are and what you want in a relationship, what you desire, what you truly, truly desire, Because I could have gone years and years and years, going, trying to figure out, like, but I feel like a woman today, but, tomorrow I'm going to feel like a man, and, maybe tomorrow I might want to wear a skirt, like, like, what am I going through? Who am I? You know what I'm saying? And, like, all the meanwhile, while I'm going through this, situation, all these years of trying to figure out who the fuck am I? Like, I'm attracting all these people who are going through that same exact situation in different, like, ways of trying to just figure out who the fuck am I. Well, it's like a cycle. you know, but I'm finally taking myself out of that cycle, and I'm like, okay, I'm dusting myself off, brushing off my shoulders, brushing the dirt off, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I'm stable, I'm on steady ground, I need to get clear now on what I want and who I want, so I can jump back in, and when I get clear on who I am and what I want, I'll jump back in, and I'll know what I want, and I'll see him, I'll see her, and I'll grab a hold of him or her, and I won't fucking let go. And that's how it happens, Cancer. By stepping out of your comfort zone, by getting clear on who it is that you are and what you want in a relationship, what you desire, taking risks, having control over your emotions, being tactful, communicating, having confidence, courage, being brave, not being afraid of the emotions that come up, not being afraid of the responses that you may or may not even receive. Like, sometimes you may, like, believe you'll receive this horrible response, but really the response you get is, like, really sweet and kind, and like, oh, Cancer, like, thank you, like, but you, like, believe this person may be like, oh, Cancer, you know, like, shut up, like, I don't want your love, you know. Like, sometimes, Cancer, you can just do a lot, you know, and sometimes you just need to calm down, alright, and listen to your intuition, alright, because it will never lead you astray. Alright, Cancer, I feel like I have talked a mouthful. My mouth is dry and I need some water, alright? Thank you for listening and watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Contact me at lamarr.townsend@gmail.com for your own personal reading, or you can contact me at lamarrtownsendtarot.com. Oh my god, I'm so tired. You can also follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend. Follow me on Google Plus, which is on my YouTube page. And follow me on SoundCloud. Check out my Bandcamp. I have text messages to answer. And it looks like a Snapchat chat to answer. So I'll catch you guys next time, Cancers, alright? I love you. You guys are awesome. Remember, just because you're single right now does not mean you'll be single forever. It doesn't mean you'll be single 10 days from now, 10 months from now, a year from now. Things can change in the blink of an eye, you know? There's magic in life, and you just have to believe, okay? Thank you for listening and watching, Cancer. I'll catch you next time, okay? Contact me whenever, alright? Thank you, guys. See ya. Listen, baby. You know I love you. But it's just not meant to be anymore. I think I found someone else. Last night, you were looking real sexy, hoping that you would text me. Last night, then later on come and text me, hoping that you would text me. Last night, you were looking real good, B, looking like a real hood G. Last night, come on and rap it out with me. You were looking real good, G. Last night, you were looking real sexy, hoping that you would text me. Last night, then later on come and text me, hoping that you would text me. Last night, you were looking real good, B, looking like a real hood G. Last night, come on and rap it out with me. You were looking real good, G. Listen, baby. You know I love you. But it's just not meant to be anymore. I think I found someone else. Last night, you were looking real sexy, hoping that you would text me. Last night, then later on come and text me, hoping that you would text me. Last night, you were looking real good, B, looking like a real hood G. Last night, come on and rap it out with me. You were looking real good, G.